If you want a beautiful, healthy green lawn, you have to prepare the ground, plan, and maybe even shell out a little extra money at the beginning. Here's Mr. Mike Lucier from the Nutrite Expert Network to help us. Let's say, Mr. Lucier, I have a piece of bare ground, like the ones you see at the new building site. What should I do first?
The first step in having a nice lawn is to have at least 15 centimeters of good soil. When I mean good soil, is a soil that has organic and mineral matter in it.
If you don't have that, you just bring new soil, because it's quite rare that you have that on new construction site.
If it's not right on your construction site, usually you will go in a garden center or a place where they sell soil, and you ask for a soil that has organic and mineral matter. That will help the roots to go deeper and the grass to be good.
Because
healthier.
if you don't do that and you just lay your seed on a topsoil, what will happen?
If the soil is really hard, probably the grass seed will grow maybe a few weeks and it'll die out because it won't be able to go down, the roots won't be able to go down, and suddenly it's going to die.
So if you spend a little extra money today, you'll save later.
You'll save a lot, because in a few years it's still going to be nice.
So why should I choose green lawn over other ground covers?
Green lawn or grass is a good ground cover. It makes it green. It's you could
it's one of the cheapest ground cover, let's face it.
It is the cheapest, and it's the hardiest. You could walk on it, there's no problem.
And even in the heat, in summertime, when there's a dry.
Yeah, grass is really drought resistant. It goes like in a dormant stage, and as soon as there's 1 or 2 rainfalls, it comes back green.
There are usually 2 choices for planting a lawn, sod and seed. Which one do you suggest?
Both of them have advantages and disadvantages. Sod, more expensive, but the result is you see it right away. Sod, you only have one type of sod. Usually you have only for sun. If you have some shade to do, the sod won't last a few years, because it's going to die down because of the
there's been growth in sun.
It's not the right mix. Seeds, it's cheaper, takes more time to see the result, but you have all types of mixes. You're going to have shade mixes, you're going to have sun mixes, you're going to reduce in maintenance
mixes
for grasses, so there's advantages for both of them.
But for both of them, you need to water.
That's the key for any grass. Water is life for them.
When seeding a lawn, do you drop the seed directly onto the soil, or do you need to bring them into the soil?
Usually you're going to put the seed over your good soil, which you got in, which is 6 inch or 15 centimeters. After that, you're going to rake it in a bit. Sometimes you could put a little bit of soil on top of it, and the most important thing is to water it for at least 14 days. Keeping it damp all the time is going to make it germinate, and it's going to grow. Once it starts to grow, once you've reached 12 centimeters, you do your first cut at 8 centimeters.
Okay.
And once you've cut for 3 times, then you start applying a fertilizer for your lawn.
Okay, but I heard a lot about fertilizer and pollution. Does the 2 of them goes together?
No. Fertilizer, there's a misconception in the field that putting fertilizer is going to pollute. If you put the right fertilizer at the right time, at the right dosage on your lawn, there's no problem, because the plant's going to absorb what you've put. You haven't overseeded, fertilized the lawn, so the grass is going to absorb what you've given it.
So if you give too much, that goes into nature, and that creates the pollution.
That's it. If you put too much fertilizer and there's a lot of rain, there's going to have leaching.
And even if it's natural fertilizer?
Any fertilizer, if you don't put the right amount that's written on the bags, you're over fertilizing, and that leaches, and that goes in the water system, and that's not good.
Today we see a lot of phosphorus-free fertilizer. Is that a good product?
Yeah, phosphorus-free fertilizers are really good for established lawns. So lawns which have a few years, that's the good fertilizer. Since the soil has a lot of phosphorus, that's why phosphorus-free fertilizer are used. But now the technology is getting even better. We have slow-release fertilizer, which is a fertilizer that is used by the plant slowly, and it's absorbed by the plant when it needs it.
Okay.
And there's no leaching of the fertilizer in the soil, in the water system. Therefore, the plant is going to grow really well, absorb it well, and doesn't pollute, because the fertilizer is used and absorbed by the plant. It's not leached everywhere.
So that's interesting for the established lawn. Thank you very much, Mr. Lucier.
Welcome.
If you want a beautiful green grass that will last for years, you need to put your seed or sod on at least 6 inches of good soil. Water them for 14 days, and after the third cut, you may call an expert to start fertilizing. And then you're good to go.